Hello, everybody. So, I'm back to talk smack about someone I know personally again. And, this time we're talking about middle evolutions. Now, if you don't know me very well, and it's likely you don't, if you don't know me very well, I have quite a fondness for most middle stage Pokemon. Why? I don't know. But I do. So the point is, there's going to be a lot of disagreement in this video. I've not watched this. I've seen one option, like one opinion on this. I've seen one opinion. Other than that, I know nothing. So we're going into it blank. So, fingers crossed, he doesn't disappoint. Because, I'll be honest, on that original starter video, I wasn't impressed. So, yeah. Here we go. Let's watch together, shall we? Come join me. Come join the fun. Let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time of day it is for you. Hello.
It's evening.
We are going to be doing another tier list today. And I'm actually really excited for this one because this one is for the middle starter evolutions. And I think a lot of the time these ones get overlooked.
They do.
And I think
they get overlooked so much. They're way better than people give them credit for.
A lot of them are underrated. So let's just dive straight in. We'll start with the Cantonians. We have got the Gen 9 ones on here this time. I've not made the mistake of going into a Gen 1 to 8 one.
Yay!
We've got the whole caboodle here.
Yay!
So let's just crack on with it. And we're gonna start off with an absolute beast.
Oh,
Ivysaur.
yes!
This is probably one of the best middle stage starter designs in my opinion.
Yes!
The thing I'm looking for with a middle stage starter evolution, it kind of has to be the perfect blend of where it's been, but also, where it's going as well.
He's absolutely bang on. It has to be that blend of, what it was looking like and what it's going to look like. It has to fit that in the middle really well, but also I think it's important that there is some sort of element of storytelling in it, which kind of plays into the what it looks like, what it's going to look like sort of thing. But what I mean is if you look at Ivysaur, for example, Bulbasaur starts with a bulb. Ivysaur, the bulb turns red and is starting to open and has the leaves. And then, obviously, Venusaur, he's got all the leaves. So the storytelling is, not only is he evolving and changing as a physical thing, his body as a whole is growing holistically as a flower too. So that's why Ivysaur is great. But another thing is it's important that not only are they cool, but they also have to be cute in a way. So it's all well and good you being well, they're not a baby anymore, so they're just cool now. They need to be cool and cute. They need to fit that, which makes them the hardest to design, but it also makes them the best when it works out, which is what Ivysaur is.
So, Ivysaur, I think, certainly deserves a spot in S tier.
I think we can end the video there. He's agreed with me on Ivysaur perfectly. I would put it in S tier too. And yeah, that's the end of the videos. Bye, everybody. I'm just kidding. That's not the end. But I do agree. I get the feeling it's going to go downhill from here, but I do agree.
Because look at it. I mean, it's kind of more ruggedy than Bulbasaur, but it's also, it's also kind of, it's showing you where it's going. The bulb is starting to flower. That's such a cool design. Well done, game.
Sorry for stealing your thunder.
Charmeleon.
Stealing all of that away.
I gave Charmander quite a low placing on the last list. I'm sorry to say I'm gonna have to do that again, because I do like Charmeleon, but I mean it's just, compare it to Ivysaur, it's just not got the same progression. I don't think. I mean it's basically just a slightly bulkier, jaggedier Charmander.
Okay, I have to disagree. Charmeleon is the only one of the three that I have any semblance of respect for. He went from Charmander with no claws and the more light orangey body into Charmeleon. He's got the sharper face. He's got the claws. He's taller. He's stood upright. He's built. He's got the one horn that will eventually become Charizard's two horns. And honestly, just looking at him, that's a fair design for a middle evolution. You know, it's got stuff going on, but it's not going to kill you looking at it. And I think if you compare it to Charmander and Charizard, Charmeleon's definitely my guy. I would personally put him B, maybe A, if I'm feeling generous on that day, but I wouldn't put him as low as C. But I suppose compared to Ivysaur's perfection, everything looks crap, doesn't it?
I think it's probably the most basic of the three Cantonian starters for sure. Wartortle. Oh. In A tier.
I would agree with this. I would actually agree with this, because people hate Wartortle for the ears, for the hair, but then they gotta read up on the origins, man. It's the Minogame, it's the 10,000-year turtle that grew a tail of seaweed. You've gotta read up on this shit. If they look stupid, ask yourself, why do they look stupid? Do they look stupid, or is the thing that their design is based on stupid already, and they just happen to take the backlash of it? Wartortle, that's my guy. Not as cool as Ivysaur, because as much as like it's a cool design and idea, it don't make sense. Nothing that is on Wartortle follows through on the Blastoise, but, you know, whatever. Sometimes you just got to get exposition out.
I don't think it's quite as elite as Ivysaur, but I
feel
definitely think that it's got some good stuff going on.
Totally.
They changed the color slightly. They made it kind of more edgy. They gave him these little fins here, and also the tail. Oh, that is a beautiful tail.
Also, third point, no one ever brings this up. Wartortle has deep blue blush marks on his cheeks, and they're amazing.
And you know what? Actually, I definitely think this is how you do it, Game Freak. Well done. Not quite S tier, I don't think. Ivysaur just edges him out.
This is how you do it, but also it's not perfect.
Bayleaf is part of that dreaded Chikorita line, but there is no doubt in my mind that Bayleaf is so goddamn awesome.
If the line went Chikorita, Meganium, Bayleaf, I think I'd actually be happier. Bayleaf, it doesn't look like much, but sometimes you don't need much to tell a good design. Look at it. First off, Chikorita's little head leaf has become sharper. It's become more jagged because it's getting stronger, and it's got that little cartoonish bite out of it. I'm a big fan of that personally. And the small spikes on Chikorita's neck have now sort of sprouted into weird spice sacs, which is what they are, by the way. They're full of spices to help you fall asleep, well, to make you fall asleep, but whatever. And unlike Chikorita, who's ugly and has no neck, Bayleaf looks like the dinosaur it's based off of. Big props to Game Freak for making Bayleaf and then just absolutely shitting it with the other two. Not that I hate the other two, just that compared to Bayleaf, meh.
Look, I mean, you can't ask for anything more. Look at how cool he looks. He is so radical. That's right, I'm bringing the word radical back for this guy. He's got the cool collar of leaves. His leaf that he had as a Chikorita has now got a little chomp taken out of it. So you know he's seen some things.
I super agree with your point. However, your ability to articulate your feelings into words based on designs, you just say cool a lot, which is fine. But you gotta argue your point so that people believe you. My Bayleaf explanation I just came out with, I could have convinced a fucking debater with that.
Lava. Now, I'm sorry to say, it's kind of the same. I mean, Charmeleon and Quilava, they kind of do the same. They do the same thing. They both kind of just make the starter slightly bigger and slightly different looking. To be fair, their final evolutions are kind of the same, but they kind of got more going for them, I think.
I would disagree with Quilava. Quilava is a solid B tier in my eyes. I have no nostalgic or bias connection to the Quilava and any of that line. But the reason I think it'd be in B tier is because, much like with Ivysaur and Bulbasaur, Venusaur, the whole flower sprouting part, you'll notice that Quilava has fire in both the place where Typhlosion would eventually get it, the head-neck area, and where Cyndaquil did have it, on the ass. So Quilava has both. So if you look at it from like a storytelling point, it goes from the ass to the neck, and there is a midway point, and it's Quilava. And also, I do like the way it stands. Like that pose, the Kensugimori art, dynamic as hell. Good job. Also, the fire mohawk. You just can't argue with fire hair. I mean, people like Infernape because his hair's on fire, but they don't like Quilava. Fucking two-timing hypocrites. But yeah, Quilava B tier for me. Quilava 3D model, D tier. That's the worst 3D model of all time. That's worse than Typhlosion. He looks like a fucking blue turd. It's disgusting. But like 2D sprite work, Quilava, that's B tier. I mean, 2D sprite work, that's A tier. Quilava as a whole, B tier. So I disagree with this
Quilava
one.
compared to Bayleaf is definitely got to be lower down. Croconaw is going. You know what? I think Croconaw is going to go into B tier.
I would not personally disagree with this. I think Croconaw, depending on how you feel about Croconaw on like the day, I think it switches every day. I think it's an A to C level design. The Mohawk, sick. The jaw, what the fuck? The diamond spine things, that's alright. But the caveman toga, what the fuck? Why is it shaped like an egg? I don't know. But there's lots going for it. There's lots not going for it. So I think if you're just feeling really positive about the Totodile line as a whole, it should be A tier. But if you're feeling a bit like, yeah, but what the fuck were they doing though? That's C tier. B tier, fair adjustment, fair assessment. I'll happily leave it there.
But he's definitely going to be high B tier, because I can definitely see where they're going with the sort of evolution here. They've made him a bit more chunky.
He chunky.
They've given him some fierce, like whatever you want to call this, like scale mane thing that he's got.
Still didn't give him elbows though. Totodile, no elbows. Crocodile, no elbows. For Alligator, that guy's got elbows, but he's 7'7", so obviously. But why's Crocodile got no elbows? He's big enough, right? He's a big boy for elbows. Give him the elbows. Hashtag get Crocodile elbows.
Well, hot diggity, the grass starters are doing so well in this.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to absolutely fumble it and go downhill very consistently for the next fucking 6 generations. Grovyle, he's about to put him in S tier. Grovyle is, I'm saying it now, and I will continue to say it until the day I die. Grovyle is the single best middle evolution starter design of all, of ever. That is phenomenal. Yes, it does not, like, compared to Trico, it gets a lot of additions. But that green and that red put together, phenomenal. The leaf, like the wrist leaves coming out, phenomenal. The 2 hooked finger hands, great. The fucking feet work. The long sort of like billowing leaf coming off the top of his head, amazing. S tier. It stands for grass types.
This tier list.
Until
Because
next
look,
gen.
Grovyle,
Grottle, I'm
another
sorry.
perfect design. Grovyle, you know what? I don't even need to say why I like Grovyle. Grovyle is just a cool kid.
I'll say it for you.
Combusken. There's going to be so many of these in S tier. Holy sh... Combusken's going straight into it, into S tier. That pose alone is so cool. Combusken is literally the perfect bridge between Torchic and Blaziken.
Okay. Combusken being in S tier was not on my bingo card. Combusken being in C or below was. Combusken universally gets hatred for being shaped like a cock and balls, which is fair, I suppose. To an extent, he does look like a cock and balls. However, consider this. The only thing that makes him look like that is because he has no discernible neck. If he had a chin, like a proper chin, nobody would ever make that assumption. If his neck, if his shaft curved, no one would ever think about it. I like Combusken a lot. I personally would have A-tiered him, just because that is a cool pose, to be fair. But it does bridge the gap. It doesn't look enough like Blaziken in my eyes, unfortunately. Blaziken, the only thing it shares really is the fucking claws and the beak and eyes. You know, Blaziken's hair is different. Blaziken's color is different. Blaziken's feet look nothing like that. So I think it doesn't bridge the gap enough to be S tier in my eyes, but it is decent, I suppose. But yeah, A to B tier for me personally. Shiny though, D tier. Get the fuck out of my face. I mean, they fixed it in Gen 8 actually. B tier for that one too.
Stomp. Now, you know, Marshtomp is pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. And you know what I think about Mudkip. If you watched my first video, by the way, if you haven't,
Mudkip,
it'll be at the end of this video. Have a watch.
Marshtomp. I will admit that my bias towards Marshtomp is incredible, and yeah. However, if we get rid of my bias, if we get rid of my voice crack too, if we get rid of my bias, Marshtomp, I'd S tier Marshtomp just because I fucking love him. But if we get rid of my bias, his stomach is too circular, like the little orange part. The two spikes coming off the side of his head look a bit odd. People have always griped about his fins changing numbers between Mudkip and Swampert and Marshtomp. That's fair. However, he has a brilliant shiny. Also, his eyes become the most piercing shade of yellow ever. If you look at his Gen 4 shiny sprites, holy shit, that's scary. But Marshtomp, I love the man. I would S tier him, but realistically, A tier is roughly where he should sit.
Marshtomp is sick. However, I do think it suffers a little from what I was saying about these two. And that's nothing to take away from it necessarily, because it's not quite...
Oh no, it's absolutely nothing like those two. The argument for those two was that, oh, well, they kind of just look like bigger versions of the other one. Yeah. It does look like a big Mudkip, but also it looks like a big Mudkip that's on two legs with different head fins, different back fins, hands, different cheek, different eyes even. There's Marshtomp and Mudkip are about as related as Marshtomp and Swampert, or Swampert and Mudkip. They're only related because they've got the same type and name and are in the same family.
It's egregious, as what Charmeleon and Quilava do. But Marshtomp definitely has a little bit of that, it's just like a small Swampert. Okay, we're on to Gen 4. Now, are we going to have a fourth grass starter in S tier?
We fucking better not.
No, we're not, because I actually do not like Grottl's design.
D, for do you think you're fucking clever for making the coolest Gen 4 line have the dumbest, ugliest middle evolution? Grottle, I love you as a Pokemon, but as a design, you're a path with bushes on it. Turtwig, cute little leaf. Look like a turtle. Brilliant. Torterra, big, scary. He's got a tree on him. Looks like a snapping turtle. Ooh. Grottle is a pathway on the side of a road with a bush on it. And also his tail comes out further than his face, but in an uncomfortable way. His legs are too far up his body. The fact that his shell goes onto his head and also does not look like a shell at all. The fact that the bush was a dumb thing and it should have been more like an Ivysaur thing where the sprout turned into like a branch and then the branch turned into a tree, but instead it became a bush. And then there's two bushes on his back and then they become one tree. Dumb, Grottle. I like you, but your design is awful. D tier, stay there.
That much. You'll see what I think of Torterra in the next video, but I think that they just kind of made him look kind of dumpy, Monferno.
I'm not going to take it away from him. Monferno, probably my favorite of the Chimchar line. Or is it? Yeah, it might be. It might be. I don't like Chimchar at all. Infernape I'm indifferent on. Monferno I'm still indifferent on, but I'm slightly less indifferent on. Monferno, I think it fixed a lot of the issues with Chimchar. The first one being that Chimchar looked really ugly and stupid, and its tail was not a tail, it was just a ball of fire on its ass. Dumb. But this one, he's got a tail with fire on the end of it. That's good. So Monferno, yeah, the big old stupid M on his face is a bit much, but that is technically accurate to real life, so I won't argue with it. I would go B to C on this one, but it is still a bit meh.
He's going into B tier. Not much
Decent
to say,
monkey,
I don't
though.
think.
Decent
he's
monkey
cool
design.
I like him. He's solid, but that's pretty much as far as it goes. I think he's sort of like, he is a nice bridge between Chimchar and Infernape, but
he's an okay bridge, I suppose.
Prinplup?
He better not go any higher than D. I'll fucking rip his head off.
You know, again, I kind of feel like Prinplup sort of takes that sort of middle zone.
No! Prinplup is disgusting, man. Piplup, cute as fuck. Empoleon, regal, imposing, royal, great. Prinplup, it's a penguin with a stupid fucking UFO crashed into both sides of his skull. He's dumb. He looks stupid. I hate him. That is not how you do a penguin. It went from cute to stupid to badass. Prinplup is universally a D tier, and it will remain that way until time ends. Fucking stupid ass B tier. I better change by the end of this video.
They didn't go super hard, you know.
They went soft. They went mushy with him. They didn't lock in. They locked out. They tried their pin too many times, and they weren't allowed back into their computer to change the design. So they're like, "Fuck it, just send it out, whatever."
They didn't make him necessarily the perfect bridge. Okay, Servine. You know what?
Servine. I will agree with this. Servine. My hatred for Snivy, well known. Servine, my favourite of the three. But just because it's like a good lizard design. It's got the leaves on the back, it's got the little arms, the collar, the smug look has turned more into like fuck me eyes, so I can get with that, I suppose. It's like Swellow. You know, Swellow's got the fuck me eyes, and I can live with that. But Servine, that's fair. The tiny paper feet, bit weird, but you know, whatever.
Servine is again.
How the fuck is Prinplup the favourite Gen 4 starter here? Look at his smug little face. Even Scissor's in the back going, I can't possibly believe what I'm watching right now. Prinplup, Beta, this dude's off his rocker.
Servine's fine. You kind of have the progression. I don't know. I don't like the legs. And I don't like the little sprouty arms. I mean,
I can agree with the legs.
What are they?
Don't you fucking disrespect my boy like that. Pignite is a legend. He's a legend. He's an A-tier design. If you look at Pignite and you say, oh, well, he's just a big circle. He's a bit stupid looking. He looks a bit like a pig. He's too fat. No. Pignite is more of a good middle stage to Tepig and Emboar than most of these. It went from a four-legged creature with a sort of bandit mask to getting onto the two legs, getting that wrestling leotard on, but it's still got quite a bit of orange on him. You know, the tail's a bit of an odd choice, but, you know, Tepig had a weird tail anyway. But, you know, his hands, he's got like little gloves on instead of boots now. It's great. He's sort of like, he's muscularly chunky, because Emboar is a huge fucking wrestling pig. Pignite, A tier. Get out of my face.
Do what?
Don't do your sarcastic little
I'll
cough. Get the fuck out of here.
An absolutely amazing design.
We can, however, agree on this doo-wop. That is phenomenal. Oshawott. Oshawott's like a B tier. Oshawott's a B tier Pokemon. Samurott, B to honestly maybe even C tier. I don't like Samurott that much, but Doo-wop, that's one of the best middle evolutions of any starter ever. I mean, there's not much to say about it really. Cool pose, cool design. I like the two white whiskers. I like the dual shells across the waist. The little wrap he's got going on, the small tuft of hair around the back. It's all just really good, honestly.
Oshawott is just a cute little guy. He kind of looks a bit shy. He kind of looks a bit nervous. And then he turns into this absolute edgelord. What a cool design. I love how they went down the kind of samurai route. But Doo-wop as a Pokemon, that is a tremendous design.
It's crazy. I thought you were just going to say he was cool again.
Well, not lots of Chespin hate. A lot of hate for me for hating on Chespin. And I'm sorry, but Quilladin is probably the worst middle stage.
See, you're gonna get hate for hating on Chespin, but you won't get hate for hating on Quilladin. Quilladin is universally also a D-tier Pokemon. Quilladin and Prinplup, probably the most hated starter Pokemon, just of all. So you're fine for putting it there, honestly. Quilladin, dumb design. Like, Pignite is not a circle. He's still, he's not a circle. He's muscular, but he's still chunky because he's a pig. Quilladin, what the fuck even is Chespin? He's meant to be a chestnut with like not a terrapin. He's like a hedgehog. He's a quill, so he's a hedgehog porcupine. They're kind of circular, but they're circular because of all the quills on them. This dude is literally a fucking circus ball. Dumb, D-tier.
Starter design for me. I just don't see. There's no through line. There's no through line on where he's going.
Oh yeah. He doesn't look like Chespin turning it into Chestnut.
A really big, like, round thing. Yeah, I guess, but he's not. He's like, he kind of looks really top heavy. Kind of looks a bit like a mushroom. Like his shape is like a mushroom.
Just knocked my.
So this doesn't really give me any indication on where this Pokemon is going. And that's not to say that I don't like Chestnut. You'll have to wait and see what I think about Chestnut. But Quilladin, nah.
I'm going to assume you like Chestnut.
Braixen. I like Braixen.
I'm glad you clarified that you like Braixen, because if you said you love Braixen, I'm sorry, but someone would have to roast you or assume you were saying something a lot more sexual in nature. Braixen. Personally, it's a C-tier Pokemon for me, but that is just because I just don't get behind the Fennekin line too much. But I can understand why people would like it. It's still got that fox look. It's still got the fur like coat going on, the big tail, the stick. The stick is actually pretty cool, I'll be honest. The giant ear hair, we'll think about that one still. And the fact that its facial fur blends into sort of like a weird beard. I'm not a big fan of that. So it's a C-tier Pokemon for me, but if you want to put it in A-tier, B-tier, whatever. If you put it in S-tier, though, we will have issues. That's not an S-tier Pokemon.
For a middle stage design, I think it's got it going on. And I'm not just saying that. I genuinely do.
Stacy's mom.
They kind of went the opposite way that they went with Duart. And then they kind of went from being on 4 legs to being on 2 legs, but it works so well, I think, for Braixen. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that they did that, but
my Pignite rant almost actually fucking made me collapse. Just for a second, I realized that my oxygen levels were low for a minute.
Braixen's cool. I mean, yeah. Plus, huge Gen 6 anime fan, and Braixen's cool in the anime, so. Frogadier!
Why is the XY series like the one I hear the most about? I liked Sun and Moon. That's it. Okay, question of the day. Zoom, I'm stealing this from various YouTubers. Question of the day. What was your favorite generation in the anime? Mine, personally, Sun and Moon. I liked the whole Ultra Beast bit. It was more slice of life than battle, and you know that I fucking love me some slice of life Pokemon. So that's why I preferred Sun and Moon, just because it was just them dicking around at a school. Also, the opening was a bop, I can't get used to this heat on my skin. That's amazing. So my choice is Gen 7, but comment down below. What's your favorite generation of the anime? Yeah, there you go.
As much as I like Froakie and Greninja, I think Frogadier itself kind of, it's just.
I would argue that Frogadier I don't like because it doesn't look almost anything like Greninja. However, Greninja is technically the outlier in the line because of the whole lack of bubbles thing. So it's not Frogadier's fault, but Greninja makes the rest of them look like sloppy shite. So Frogadier, C to B tier. It's not bad, to be fair. It's quite an aesthetically pleasing design, It makes sense. It does look like Froakie. It sort of is transforming into Greninja's general body shape, just not the way it looks mostly. But I think Frogadier is a good example of what a middle evolution should be. I just don't like the design choices for the other two merging in the middle to make Frogadier. It's not a great combo, and it never really turned out anyway. Greninja is the best one of that line, I'm afraid.
It's kind of there for me. I mean, yeah, it's kind of just there. Dartrix. A solid B tier for me.
I would have said A, but some people just don't like it for the reasons I like it. Some people dislike it because of the reasons I have for liking it. 1, the bow tie continues to be there. Good. 2, he's kind of looks like he's wearing a suit. He looks like a little butler. That's a good thing for me. And 3, the face shape he has going on, the way the quiffs of his hair really outlines it. I like that a lot. He does disconcertingly look like just a straight up rendering of a barn owl on his face, but you know, they're not that hard to look at. They're like 3 shapes, that's it. Yeah, I think he's honestly pretty good. I think he's pretty good. I would have A-tiered him, but I can suffice with a B tier.
Me, a solid B tier. Again, a lot of hate for where I ranked Rowlet in the last one.
I do hate you for that.
I think Rowlet is fine. I think that Dartrix is fine. So he's just gonna sit in B tier for now. Now, it's not that I don't like this line, but I don't really like this line. I don't like the black and red colors. If
that is orange. Okay. This is going to be our greatest disagreement of all, because he's currently got it in D tier. I would straight up flip it straight into S tier. Torracat. One of the most perfect blends of the two Pokemon it comes from or goes to. 1, it's the only one with a different color. It's not red and black, it's orange and black. It's specifically orange and black. This does make it have the worst shiny of the 3, but it is orange and black. 2, that is a good cat type Pokemon. That is a great design for a cat. Litten, fine cat design. I like Litten because it looks like a cat, but it's got that extra pizzazz that makes Pokemon good. Torracat, he's got so much going on. It's amazing. I love that the back of him is black, and there's alternating orange on black on the tail stripes, and then black on orange on the legs. This whole triangular sort of hair thing going on is amazing. He comes with a bell, for fuck's sake. He comes with a bell on a non-existent collar. Torracat is S tier, and if Incineroar is in A or above, we are gonna fight.
If Incineroar had been like a proper cat, this would have been, I think, a better middle stage design.
Fuck off. Don't you dare! This man is disrespecting the 7th generation of Pokemon. Dartrix, A tier. Torracat, S tier. Brionne, B to A tier. Yes, it's Popplio in a dress, but it is still a change. Popplio, the Brionne and Popplio, different tails, different midsections, different hands. You know, the Popplio is just all blue. Brionne's got that splash of colour. The little bulbous sort of ear things going on here. The fact that it's definitely got a more defined feminine face. It's great. Its nose being smaller and pink compared to being big and fucking red. Brionne is a strict upgrade to Popplio in my opinion, and I would really think it should be a B to A tier. It depends on what day you catch me, but usually I would put it in A. So yeah, whatever horseshit is about to spill out of this man's mouth, I don't care. I'm right, because I have more subs than him, which makes me right by proxy. Thank you very much.
Brionne. Bryony.
It's Brionne.
I can't even say this Pokemon's name because I just do not care about this Pokemon. In my opinion, a worse design than Popplio. I'm
wrong.
Sorry, I don't like this line. It's not for me.
Fuck off. If Thwacky goes above D. If Quaxwell goes above D. If Quacky or Thwaxwell, I know I got those wrong on purpose. If either of those two go above D tier, we have a huge fucking problem because you've just put two of the better starters in D tier. And Pignite.
Thwacky.
Don't you dare.
Thwacky is... You know what? I'm going to put Thwacky.
I thought you were about to put him in S tier, but A tier is bad enough. In fact, B tier is bad enough. C to D is the only place for that ugly fucker. I don't know how they managed to do it with the Grookey line to make them simultaneously have the cutest beginner starter, but the ugliest evolutions. It gets worse as it evolves. So the fact that I think Thwacky is D tier should tell you all you need to know about my feelings on Rillaboom. Fucking durian head having ass. Thwacky is awful. Grookey, amazing. Thwacky, disgusting colours, terrible shiny. The orange mouth and hands do not work with brown and green. It's like that one picture of shiny Okie Dogie where they're like this pleasant ungradient, this unpleasant gradient shows up at your door. It's an unpleasant gradient, I'll tell you that for sure.
In A tier. Because I do like how he kind of gets his kind of like moody teenager thing, you know? Yeah. He kind of had, you know, he's got his arms folded. Look at him. He don't give a crap about nothing.
Because he's got nothing to live for.
So, yeah, I just think they naturally did a good job of going from Grookey to Thwacky.
I disagree.
And the reason I'm probably not going to put it in S tier
is because it sucks.
It doesn't really give me much of where Rillaboom is going. Like, he could have had like a, you know, like a tambourine or something maybe, or you know, something like that, or maybe like one bongo or something, like in his design, would have probably heightened him a little bit more for me.
The design would have been heightened if it never existed and it looked like Pignite. That would have made it way better.
Raboot, where to put you, Raboot? You know what, Raboot, you know, I'm gonna put him in B tier.
I didn't like how he was hovering over C because I would have gone to A. Raboot, personally, that's a really good design. Do I agree with the fact that it's wearing a hoodie? Not particularly, but it definitely shows Scorbunny to Cinderace. And if he doesn't mention it having a moody teen thing going on, we're gonna have a fucking problem, because it does. They all do. I don't know why, but all the Gen 8 starters, middle evolutions, are moody teenagers. Drizzile especially. Look at his eyes. Looks like Ennui from fucking Inside Out. But Raboot, pretty good Pokemon. I think the Scorbunny line is probably one of my favourite Fire-type lines in Pokemon, honestly, in the whole thing. Because Scorbunny, that's a satisfying looking, like, it's quite symmetrical. I like that. Raboot, same thing. Cinderace, same thing. Also, football's cool. So, yeah, I personally would have Raboot A tier, but to each their own.
I haven't got much to say.
Yeah, I can tell.
Like the most average sort of design for me. It does a good job with the through line, but that's pretty much all I have to say. Drizzle.
Drizzile.
I'm leaning towards C tier, because you kind of do get the through line, but I just think the design is very basic. I don't think they went over the top with it.
His name is a mixture of Drizzle and Reptile. Drizzile, personally, he makes no sense. He does not look anything. He barely looks like Sobble, and he looks almost nothing like Inteleon. So, I would personally say C tier. Yeah, I can live with that. I have some bias towards him because, you know, I used one in my first playthrough. But the purple, the green, what the fuck are they doing there? I have no idea. But shiny, though. Shiny Drizzile? Ooh, that's a top tier thing.
But then, to be honest with you, this whole line's design is fairly basic in and of itself. So, Florigato. 1, 2, 3. Florigato. Florigato is an A tier.
Wrong, is B tier. Florigato is okay. It hasn't. I've never seen a Pokemon look more like an 8-year-old in a suit than Florigato, but I suppose it's all right. It's proportioned fine. It's got some neat design choices. You know, the dark green with the light green, etc., etc., etc. However, it's just kind of bleh. Like, I don't think about it often or ever, actually. All the Gen 9 middle evolutions, in my eyes, are a huge pile of anus. Peter.
Damn, the grass starters are doing well. So,
Grass starters are doing well. He's got a majority of them in B. He's got half of them in B or below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Never mind. My maths is wrong. I forgot Thwacky was there because he's closer to yellow than green. He looks like more of the fire types. No, currently, there is no bias towards any type here. The only bias he has is towards terrible designs and ugly Pokemon. Except for, you know, obviously the right ones.
Now, you all know I love Fuecoco, but Crocodile? Nah.
I don't know if he deserves the disrespect of D tier. I don't know if he deserves to be down here with Quilladin and Prinplup, and Thwacky, but yeah, I can understand. I would have C-tiered him personally. The egg on his head, quite weird. Looks like a sombrero. His back being so curved but so smooth. Yeah, it needs some spines on it. Its tail pinching off at the end, like a shite. I have no idea why they do this. They gave him horse mouth though. But it's all right. I don't hate it. I just would rather it was different.
I'm sorry, they did the chunky thing again. Look at how many chunkies we got down here. Don't like it when...
This guy just doesn't like people that are packing on the pounds. He doesn't like the muscles. We got a femboy on our hands, I think.
And they do the chunky. Me no likey the chunky.
Somebody clip that. Take it out of context, please. Don't actually, but just, you know, laugh because I said it.
When it comes to a starter design, and they just needlessly just make them...
Pignite is not needlessly chunky. It's on purpose. He turns into a fucking pig. He turns into a humongous pig. It makes sense. Grottle turns into a ginormous tortoise. It makes sense. Quilladin doesn't make sense. Crocodile. I mean, I think Skeledirge might be skinnier than Crocodile, but whatever.
Round and chunky for no reason. I just don't like it. I mean, Grottle and Pignite at least have kind of the reason for it.
Okay, I take back my earlier rant.
Just don't like it. Quilladin.
Okay, I take it back because you said you don't like it.
And
couldn't find my spacebar. Sorry.
I'm sorry. It's not needed. Okay, and then we got Quaxwell.
If Quaxwell's anything above D, I'm ending the video here.
Well, and I am gonna put Quaxwell into D tier.
Damn, it would have been really funny if he did not put it in D tier, because that would have been a pretty good end of the video, I'm going to be honest. I'm a little disappointed he didn't now. I was already thinking of edits to do. But yeah, I agree. Quaxwell. Quaxley, great design, funny duck, blue feet, kind of what you needed. Quaquaval, actually quite cool design, honestly. Quaxwell, very ugly.
And again, I know I was saying last time, Quaxley is underrated, I think, but I don't like Quaxwell. They kind of got rid of his cool little hat thing, and they kind of gave him this quiff, like he's from...
It was always a quiff. He's never had a hat. It's called a pompadour, my friend. It's a pompadour. It's a well-known hairstyle. It's a pompadour, and the people who get pompadours are well known for being very protective of it. That's why Quaxley is always trying to make sure it protects its hair, and why it's always constantly brushing it and stuff and combing it. And this is why Quaxwell decides to look like a fucking idiot wearing a bike helmet. And Quaquaval is a femme queen.
From, like, Greece. It doesn't look like he's sort of...
He does look like a greaser.
...into some sort of flamenco dancing duck. It looks like he's about to, you know, start doing the Grease Lightning or something. So now it's time to just rearrange these quickly and just see if there's any changes to be made. And to be honest with you, I can see one right off the bat. You know what? I was too harsh on Grottle.
No, No, you weren't. You were too harsh on Pignite, Torracat, Brionne, Quilava, I think the rest of these are probably fine. You were not harsh enough on Thwacky, Prinplup. Yeah, that's about it. But point is, you fucked up. Oh, accidentally muted the video. I muted the video. Help! When did I press M?
Went into C tier, and actually, he's not going to be at the bottom of C tier either. But let's just figure out D tier first. So, I'm sorry, Quilladin.
Quilladin is the
You are going
ugliest
right to
middle
the bottom,
evolution.
buddy. I then think that Crocodile is going to be next.
That's fair.
As much as I like Fuecoco and Skeledirge, I do not like Crocodile one bit. I was
Skeledirge.
very disappointed when I saw that design.
Piss off.
Brionne can go there. I'm gonna...
Quaxwell cannot go any
I'm gonna leave
higher.
it as it is here now, I think. I think I'm gonna leave that as it is. C tier.
I'm just gonna...
I think that...
I don't need his reasoning. I just need to see what it ends up as.
Let's face Busken. Already? Another one. Probably even more controversial opinions to throw at your faces. But until then, again, thanks for watching. And I'll catch you later.
Okay. Clearly. Me and him just don't have the same opinions. And that's okay. Except for when it's specifically when you're with me, in which case it's not okay. You definitely don't want to have wrong opinions when you talk to me, because I will tell you they're wrong. But yeah, I suppose there's not much we can do about it. Yeah, go subscribe to my good friend. Go subscribe to him. 1 subscriber. That's not true. But yeah, how many times can I say yeah? Let's start counting. I almost said it again. I will just simply outro the video because I'm well known for not being able to outro videos. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and answer the question of the day, which is, what is your favorite generation of the Pokemon anime? And make sure to go watch his actual video as well. Don't just watch my video, because he needs to be seen to be believed, because I simply don't believe it. Anyway, goodbye. I'll see you all never. Bye.